welcome back to another video, and Steve is back. And whenever I sort of do a video on a guitar that has a lot of sort of attention, I always like to try and bring that guitar back and do like a follow-up on it. But obviously because it was your guitar, I couldn't bring it back and do a follow-up on it.
And
so
it's mated.
Yeah, so the first clue as to how you've got on with it is that there's now two.
Yeah.
So
Says it all, doesn't it?
you know, I mean, off the back of the last video, I think the main sort of comments on it were, why wouldn't you just get a Fender? And specifically, why wouldn't you just get, you know, if it was the Rosewood in particular you wanted, why wouldn't you just go an older used Fender, say? And that was one of the sort of recurring themes of people on that video and other videos. So I guess we'll sort of chat about that first from your own point of view. Why it is that you would want, or I suppose not why you wouldn't want, but what has having these made you want to go back to Fender in any way at all?
No.
Which is kind of obvious because we're holding another one here, but but you know what I mean. Like, has having it made you go in any way? You know, maybe I should just have a Strat. Do I miss a Strat? All that sort of thing.
Well, the good thing is I've owned lots of Strats, some stupidly expensive ones and some affordable ones. You can kind of make them what you want, really. But after owning that, I only bought it out of interest, really.
Yeah.
Because I did own an American SilverSky years ago.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it, but it wasn't. I don't know, something about it wasn't perfect for me.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd try the SE, and I loved it straight away. That one had a few issues I had to sort out in terms of sharp fret ends and the nut.
Yeah.
But once I got that sorted, I found myself just playing it all the time. And then I got a band together recently again, and we did a 4-hour rehearsal. First time I'd used it in a rehearsal environment, and it was just spot on.
Just flawless, yeah.
It stayed in tune. I used the whammy a lot, no problems. Comfortable in my hand, best neck I've ever played.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I have to admit, the necks on these, one thing I didn't personally say in the last video, is that the frets on these guitars, the actual fret size, are just that little bit bigger than the Fender narrow vintage frets. Yeah. And I will come out and say I do prefer that size because I like a slightly bigger fret. And the fact that that is here and not on a 60s reissue Fender is a kind of, you know, very valid point in terms of which one you'd want.
And they're not jumbo by any means, are they?
No, they're not jumbo, but like some people really like the super narrow vintage Fender frets, and that's fair enough. But given a choice, I will prefer like 6105 slightly bigger. Yeah. And whilst these aren't as big as that, they're just that little bit more familiar to a more modern sized fret itself. And once you've played enough guitars, these are the sort of details that you'll start learning what you prefer. Yeah. And with this, I have to say I do prefer these fret sizes to say the one on my 60s reissue there. But it's just something I thought I'd mention because I forgot to say it in the last video. Yeah. And I suppose having another one, obviously it's testament to how you've got on with it.
Yeah, I mean the main reason for getting another one was because I was in the band. I thought, right, I need a backup now.
Yeah.
So I got the yellow, or moon white as they call it.
Yeah.
And it was set up so much better than that one. Yeah, this is a more recent model, I think.
Out of the box, you mean?
Out of the box, it was, I would say, 95%.
Because we spoke about this one out of the box before.
Yeah, there was a few things, you know, and it felt like they'd rushed a few bits. But this, the fret ends, the nut was cut. Even though I've adjusted the nut to my own taste, it was actually nothing really wrong with that at all. It was superb, and I just thought, they got that right.
Yeah,
know, and not how many guitars come out of the box that good, you know. Really,
not many, honestly.
No,
not when you know what you're looking for, which you certainly do.
Yeah.
But what I'm interested in as well, off this sort of topic of conversation, is that you said, you know, you had the US SilverSky, and then you had Fender again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that obviously did make you go back to Fender.
And after having the SilverSky, I had an Eric Clapton custom shop.
Yeah, which we had a video on. I'll link that at the top.
And it was almost too valuable. Yeah. I didn't want to take it to rehearsals.
Yeah. I mean, they are, you know, big money guitars.
Stupid money, and I just thought. And as soon as I got this, I just thought, why go back to guitars like that, really, when these are workhorses? You don't mind if they get a little bit of a ding here and there.
Yeah.
And the other reason for getting them is the weight is just, they're so light.
They are light, yeah. And you said earlier that they're routed a little bit more than a Fender, right?
They're routed right through there.
Like a swimming pool gun sort of thing.
A lot less body weight. This one's even 20 grams less than that because I weighed it. When I got this one, I got it out of the box and I thought, that's lighter than the other one, it's stupid. And I weighed them 20 grams, that's all. But you can tell When you're used to something, you know.
Yeah. That's the thing in guitar setup in general. Like, it's all fractional.
Yeah.
But you will pick up on those fractions, and that's what makes the difference.
Yeah,
do you know
absolutely.
what I mean? I mean, the fact you can pick up on 20 grams. This is a nice segue actually to talking about the differences between the two. So we covered Y2. Now let's look at what's it like with two of the same guitars.
Yeah.
So let's bring up the rosewood board, because that's a huge thing with these and a good selling point. You know,
here we go.
The fact that they are rosewood boards. So are they consistent in their colour and stuff like that? So the blue one, as we saw before, is lovely and dark, uniform, open pore, perfect rosewood board. I'll bring this one in a little bit. To be fair, they're pretty similar, aren't they?
In natural light, that one is a bit lighter.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see it's a bit lighter, but it's not like a...
No.
It's not a subpar piece of rosewood sort of thing. It's still a nice bit of rosewood, consistent.
One thing I did do is treat the original one with linseed oil, which was the first time I'd used that.
Yeah. Has that one not been treated yet at all?
Only lemon oil.
Oh yeah.
And linseed oil, it does seem to darken the rosewood. And
I'm not a fan of lemon oil at all.
Yeah. And it keeps it dark, and it also seems to keep it very moist. You don't need much of it. And the smell is acquired.
Yeah, it's very funny.
But I quite like it.
The only reason why I don't use linseed oil on my guitars and the shop guitars is I've got sensitive skin and it triggers my skin.
It's very oily.
Yeah,
really
that's the only reason I don't use it.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's pretty good.
Next time these strings are off, that's what's going on here.
Yeah, but in terms of consistency, I think that proves that the rosewood boards are pretty consistent. Yeah, that's the next thing. So neck calves.
Well, I was thinking the tint really initially.
And that.
So
bring them both in so you can see a bit better.
The blue one has got more of a
vintage amber.
Vintage kind of Whereas the yellow it's very light.
Yeah. But is that a difference in the wood, you think, or the finishing?
To me, it felt like they tinted that.
Yeah.
At the factory, but they didn't. They don't do it now. Or
are they both the same year model, 2021, on both of them?
This one was more recent, and what does it say about?
So that's going to be. Yeah, I think they're separated by 1 year, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
So this one is a 2022 model. That's a 2021. So maybe that's a little difference they did. You have to see a few more. But for me,
I love the tint on that one.
Oh yeah, it does look lovely. It's more vintagey, isn't it?
Yeah.
But for me, the neck calves feel slightly different.
Yeah, they do.
Which actually we'll get back to later on. We'll do a little blindfold test and see. Is it that different that without seeing the guitar you know? But yeah, I mean, anything else that's sort of inconsistent or consistent between the two? I suppose we'll play a bit now and hear the sound, because they're going to sound. Yeah, you're not going to notice any, like, one's not lower output than the other, or...
When I had the back plate off on this one, when I was changing the strings, it was so neat inside. It was fantastic. That one, there was lots of wood grain. Which
I remember you saying before,
It was rough.
Out of sight, out of mind type of
and
finish.
the same under this as well.
Yeah.
This is pretty neat. That one had quite a lot of wood sort of loose, and it just needed cleaning up.
Yeah.
But this is superb. I mean, the neck on that, you'd expect that on you'd hope to get that on a $2.5 guitar. It's just, I don't know, but when I got it out of the box and I played it, I thought the neck feels bigger on that.
Yeah, well, when you brought them round, I thought straight away. And like I just said, it's the fractions. It might only be, mathematically speaking, a mil.
Well, it's got to be, because I measured them, and they were.
Oh, there you go then.
They were actually. I got a piece of string and I wrapped it around, measured the same.
Yeah.
It was the same.
Yeah.
But it could be just.
Because you will notice a mil. That's the thing.
There's something about this one. It feels chunkier.
Yeah, not in an uncomfortable way, because the neck carve, that John Mayer neck carve, whatever it's based on, I'm guessing it's based on his 61 or something. Is lovely.
The most comfortable thing in the world.
It's very nice. So I suppose let's get on some sounds then. Maybe I'll plug this one in first, and you'll hear the Marshall behind me. It's sort of rung out the resonance stuff out. I can feel it in the back of the neck as well. Is that natural sustain? Let's quickly run to the neck pickup on that one. Are they the same pickup height?
they should be identical.
Yeah.
I wonder if
probably
did
that
you
a little bit
down a bit on that one.
Oh, I might have done, yeah, because when I played on there, I did have the volume. That's better. I think that's probably done. Such a balanced sound because the radius of the pickup pole pieces on these isn't like a sort of vintage reissue Fender, is it? Because
they follow the
strings rather than being sort of randomly staggered. Yeah. So it's interesting how like all these subtle differences are obviously to John Mayer's preference. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's horses for courses. Do you prefer the way John Mayer likes it, or do you prefer the way Fender likes it? It's you're splitting hairs really, but.
I'm kind of past the John Mayer thing now. I just think they're great Strats.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I just mean the way it's spec'd.
I almost wonder if they should take his name off these now, and more people
and
buy
have it
them.
Because
not everybody likes them. You see.
Yeah.
The one thing I do on these, I float the trem, which I don't like the trem when it's against the body. It doesn't feel right to me. But the stability is fantastic on them.
It's a lovely feeling trem.
Yeah. It's not too loose, but not too tight.
It is a very, very nice feeling trem. That'll be partly because of how you set it up, but how many springs are in the back?
4.
So there's 4 springs in there and it still feels stable.
Exactly.
But little bit of flex because
not much
slow, but not much. Not enough that it would be an issue sort of thing, It's almost in feel it's almost Jaguar style when you get a longer action on the trem. It feels that smooth. Or Jazzmaster style, you know what I mean?
Well, the pushing arm's nice because you can have it quite high if you want all the way down.
Yeah. I mean, we said before, I won't cover the sound too much more because we've already gone over that, but I can see why you would have got another one sort of thing, because if you're having a backup, why not have the same
If you break a string, you want it to sound the same. Pick up this mid through a set, everything's the same. You haven't got to worry about a different scale length or different tones. To me, I want it exactly how I want it. It's just the colour, isn't it? And these two are the best colours in my opinion.
Oh yeah, that is the one other thing I would have said if I didn't say before is I've seen a lot of the dragon fruit and the green, whatever they call it, sages or something. I don't know. No,
it'll come to be not Orion or something.
I don't know, but you know what I mean. The pink and greens, and already on the used market, they're way more easy to get than the blue or the white. So you've definitely chosen the right colours there.
Yeah.
And for me, the takeaway is like you had the US SilverSky, you went back to Fender. These came out, you took a chance on these, and not only have you not gone back to Fender, but you've got you like it enough to buy another one, and that is all you need to say really in terms of how you've got on with it, which is the point in this video.
I think the price point is they're not cheap.
They're not cheap guitars. It's it's a bit ignorant to say they are, but
$850 something like that. But in my opinion, you won't find much of a better Strat than this for that money.
Brand new, that's the difference.
And set up as well out of the box. I dare you to get a Fender straight out of the box, which is set up as well as this. I've owned them and it's hit and miss. The consistency of the PRS stuff at the moment is just phenomenal. And some people don't like the headstock, fair enough.
That was the other thing, but that's aesthetic.
I personally really love it, and there's something about it feels like it's a different scale length to a Strat. It's not, it's the same. But
they feel like this much shorter, doesn't it?
It feels like it's more comfortable and it's closer to me.
Yeah.
And the tuners are just there.
Yeah.
And there's something about the way it's been designed. A lot of thought's gone into it.
Yeah. Definitely.
And I just I don't know. I just think for me this is my ultimate Strat at the moment.
If they did a maple neck version of the SE, which we haven't seen yet, would you have gone maple?
Years ago, I was a maple fan, but I don't know this because they're using such lovely dark rosewood.
Yeah, I'd always go rosewood.
Yeah, for me too. Yeah.
So I think that covers how you've got on with it and the consistency differences and stuff like that. But I really want to address this neck card thing because they measure the same. They should be the same in theory, but both of us think they feel different. Yeah. So let's see if we can, or you can, or I can, whichever, tell the difference blindfolded. Yeah. So I'll go fix up some sort of blindfold and then we'll come back and do that.
There's no budget for a proper blindfold yet on this programme, is there?
No.
So, right, I'm going to hand you one of these and you're going to see if it's a yellow or the blue one, okay?
Right.
Knowing that the blue one's the first one I got, and then the yellow one's the most recent.
Well, just for record, I'm expecting the blue one to feel a little bit slimmer because that's kind of how I thought. So that's what I'm going to be trying to look out for.
Right, so let me just swap these around. Okay, it's just in front of you now.
Oh God, okay. Let me drop it for God's sake. Don't know why I'm playing it, but it's in feel. Right, I'll do it quickly, so let's have the other one straight away. Is this the blue one?
Do you want to know?
Yeah, go on.
No.
It's not?
No, that's the moon white. So that's the one we thought had the thicker neck.
See, that's strange.
It's all in there, isn't it?
It really did feel the same that time.
Yeah.
Right, but in fairness, I've spent, what, 5 minutes with these guitars?
Oh, here we go.
So let's go the other way around.
Let's embarrass myself.
Get in the hot seat. I'll swap all these round. Right, okay. So it's on your leg just there.
Okey-doke. That's the yellow one.
Well, you might as well take your blindfold off straight off the bat. Yeah, that's the yellow one.
I knew it straight away.
Straight away.
There's something about the feel of it at the first fret. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It could even be the feel of the wood.
See, when you first brought them round and I felt it and then felt this, I agreed with you straight away. Yeah. But blindfolded, I honestly couldn't tell. So, I mean, which you kind of expect because at the end of the day, they are measured the same way. They are.
I've played that a lot more, so I'd expect a newer one to feel a little bit newer. But
yeah, that's it. I was trying to remember how I felt about the feel.
But there is something going on there.
But it just goes to show, you know, it's in those fractions, and once you know your guitars, like you've obviously got to know these, particularly the blue one. Yeah. You know, you just know, don't you, kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, you get to know every inch of the things.
But there we go then. So in conclusion, you know, how is it 4 or 5 months later?
It's brilliant.
Very, very good because you have 2 of them. Yeah. So we'll play out with something now, and that's it for this video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.